Good morning. I'm Jen Amos at Weiss Research.
I'm Andy Myers, and this is your morning market alert for Wednesday, July 13th. Stocks on Wall Street are set to rebound today, following broad gains in the global markets. The rally began in China overnight after a relatively strong reading of economic growth. China's second quarter GDP grew by 9.5%, slightly faster than expected, but not quite as strong as the 9.7% growth in the first quarter. Still, the report did ease investors' fears that China is headed for a hard landing. That news also helped stocks across Europe settle down after 3 days of heavy selling. Mining shares and car makers are among the best performers in those markets. But European banks are mixed after Moody's Investor Service cut Ireland's sovereign debt rating to junk status.
Here in the U.S., investors will be focused on Washington, where Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke is scheduled to testify. Traders will be watching closely for any clues about the Fed's monetary policy going forward, especially after the release of the minutes of its latest meeting yesterday. They showed that a minority of policymakers supported providing extra stimulus to the economy. Bernanke may also have to try to convince reluctant lawmakers to raise the debt ceiling. Ahead of this morning's testimony, the dollar is giving up some recent gains against the euro, which is now back above the 140 mark. Meanwhile, crude oil is holding steady at around $97.50 a barrel, after jumping more than $2 yesterday. But gold continues to rise. It's now trading around $1,575 an ounce, closing in on an all-time high as investors continue to search for safety in an uncertain market.
M&A activity seems to be picking up, and we have a couple more deals to tell you about this morning. Medical technology company Kinetic Concepts is being taken private in a $6.3 billion buyout. The consortium of bidders includes Apax Partners, as well as affiliates of the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board and the Public Sector Pension Investment Board. The price tag represents about a 6% premium over Kinetic Concepts' closing price yesterday, and 21% above its average price in the month before speculation about a possible buyout sparked gains for the stock. Right now, Kinetic Concepts is jumping more than 5%. But Electronic Arts is dropping nearly 3% after announcing that it will buy privately held PopCap Games. PopCap makes mobile and casual video games, including Bejeweled, Plants vs. Zombies, and Zuma. The deal could reach a total value of $1.3 billion, making it EA's biggest acquisition ever.
We're also keeping an eye on several other stocks today. Capital One Financial is gaining more than 1% in the pre-market, after reporting that its second quarter earnings rose 50%. That topped analyst expectations as credit loss provisions and delinquency rates declined. Capital One also announced plans to sell $2 billion in common stock to fund its acquisition of ING Group's U.S. online banking business. Also on the earnings front, Yum! Brands and Marriott International are set to report their quarterly results, while General Mills will release its financial outlook for the next fiscal year. And finally, internet stocks may be in focus today after analysts at J.P. Morgan initiated coverage on several companies. Overall, the firm has a positive view of the industry, and it named Google, Netflix, and Amazon its top picks in the sector. All three of those stocks are rising in the pre-market. That's the latest from Weiss Research. We'll be back after the opening bell with all the market reaction.